We all want more competition in the VR industry, right? More competition is more choice for us consumers, and competition could also push companies to improve and bring better products, or maybe something entirely unique even. So when this company reached out to me for a review on their VR headset, I thought, okay, why not? Let's check it out. You never know whether it might become a good option. And this headset really does have some things that caught my eyes, like its 4K display. This is a resolution you don't often see yet in VR headsets, unless you are ready to put in the big bucks. This one is around $500. And I think that's not too shabby for a 4K display. But is it a worthy alternative? Let's find out in this video. Good day everyone, Cas here, and this is your channel for VR tips and tricks. If you're interested in staying up to date with VR, then consider subscribing, and now, join me beyond reality. This is the DPVR E3 4K gaming combo. It's another 6 degrees of freedom headset, which means it's another one that lets you move naturally in a VR game, just like with the Oculus Quest and most other PC VR headsets. Except this one has external tracking. It uses a tracking solution that you may have seen before, the Nalo tracking system. This is a system you can buy separately to, for example, transform 3 degrees of freedom headsets like the Oculus Go or Samsung Gear VR into a 6 DAW headset. It's a cute design with that little ball on top of the headset. It makes it also look effective as it's round with sensors all around it. So it would seem that it may track in a larger area than sensors that just face the front, but more on tracking later. I wanted to show you its design first. It's pretty interesting. It has a more minimalistic design than other headsets, which is so different from the headsets we see from the major VR brands. Its weight, without the cables, but with the tracker, is 385 grams, while a headset like the Rift S weighs about 470, so it's about a 100-gram difference. While it may not seem a lot, it does make a difference when you have the headset on your face. But that does take me to something that I don't like about the headset. The strap is very rigid. There is not a lot of room for adjustment. There are springs at the sides, but you can't move the strap up or down to fit your head's shape. There is an adjustable top strap that uses Velcro to prevent the headset from sliding down. But when you wear this headset, you can see the strap is higher than the headset. Since you can't adjust the spring tension, there is a significant pressure on the forehead that isn't comfortable to me. If your head is small, you do get this back cushion to tape at the back, which I didn't need. So I guess I have a big head. But let's talk about what's inside this thing. The part that caught my eye, the display. The panel is a single fast LCD with a refresh rate of 75 Hz. Low refresh rate for PC VR, but it does have a resolution of 3840 x 2160 in total. So that's almost 4K. That amount of pixels isn't something we see a lot in consumer headsets yet, except maybe in Pimax headsets or the upcoming HP G2, but both are more expensive. And yes, this is a clear display with good color contrast, except maybe we needed a little bit more deeper blacks, but the screen door effect is almost not noticeable. But there is one thing that is bothering me, and that is the low refresh rate in combination with the fact that you can't move the lenses to match the distance of your eyes, as it doesn't have a manual IPT adjustment. It makes the screen uncomfortable, especially when you just put on the headset. When I move my head really fast, I can notice some motion blur, almost like the display's persistence is higher than other headsets. I'm not sure, or maybe that's the lower refresh rate that's causing it. It's a little bit more noticeable though in this headset than on the Oculus Quest, for example, that has a pretty similar refresh rate of 72 Hz. But my eyes do seem to get accustomed to it after about 50 minutes or so. But let's talk about tracking. So the tracking works like this. You get this base station that you plug into the computer using a micro USB cable. In the box you get this 3-in-1 cable, by the way, that you can use to charge the base station and the 2 controllers at the same time, which is a cable you don't see often in a VR box from other brands, so that's fun. The cable is very short though, but I guess that's easily solved if you just got a longer USB cable. Still, it would have been nice to get it included. The base station uses a combination of a gyroscope, accelerometer and magnetometer to track the little ball that's mounted on the headset. Unfortunately, the tracking is only front facing. The base station can view the headset around 100 degrees field of view, so you lose tracking when you try to turn around. I was really hoping to have a better tracking field of view, since the round form factors of the trackers seemed like an efficient method for that. The front-facing tracking of the headset does work fine as long as you don't turn around. Sometimes I did see the software trying to compensate for the loss of tracking or something, as I can see the screen move with me all of a sudden, almost like the 6 DOF tracking becomes 3 DOF on occasion. But most of the time I can play games with good enough tracking as long as it has artificial turning options. The controller tracking could be better though. It seems it gets decalibrated easily. However, DPVR does have software in place to fix that. Calibration is done by pressing the home button twice while pointing the controller to the base station like this, and that usually fixes the tracking and the position of the controller in game, and that allows me to play fast-paced games too, like Beat Saber, well enough. You may have noticed already, but DPVR works well with SteamVR games. The headset comes with a DPVR assistant software that is well integrated with SteamVR. This is a straightforward and user-friendly setup where you can just connect everything to your PC with the cables provided, and then you just have to launch SteamVR and it works without hassle. The controllers will be seen as HC5 ones, so it should work with every game that works with the Vive controllers. Okay, so usually when I test a headset, I write my impressions and scripts kind of simultaneously, and because during testing this time it just quickly became apparent to me that I just cannot recommend the headset at this current price point. Not because this headset doesn't work, because it does, and yes, some of the specs are still interesting to at least check out, but unfortunately it compromises in too many areas that I do find essential. Like the strap's comfort, the tracking and the display's persistence or that refresh rate. I don't think it's a bad headset though. I just think there are headsets out there at the same price that offer better value. But most importantly, to me, a more comfortable experience, but those headsets may have a more average resolution. For me, the overall comfort is more important than having the highest resolution or the widest field of view, as I also want to have a comfortable experience for at least 2 hours. So I can't have that if it compromises on other things. So I know I skipped some things in this review, like lenses, audio, battery life, and some other things I usually do cover in my VR headsets reviews. But since I already came to this conclusion, I didn't want to make this video longer than necessary. But if you do want to know more about this headset, feel free to ask me below in the comments, and if I can, I will check it out for you. And if you don't have the questions about the headset, then do let me know if you agree with me on my conclusion. Do you also want a fuller package but maybe more average specs, or do you find something like a high resolution more important than anything else? I would love to know your thoughts on this too, even if you disagree. Lastly, I just want to say that I am happy that a company like DPVR exists and that they are creative, as we just need more competition. So I really do hope that they keep it up and that we see more from them. But that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have some time left, why not watch some more to support us? And if you do want to talk more about this video, or just want to hang out in VR and discover stuff, then you can also join our live streams. That's every Friday on this channel. Thanks again, stay healthy, and a special thanks goes to all our champions, especially these patrons below. Big hugs, and as always, VR